like is the fact that she's got an ignite. I think Seraphine exhaust should be in 90% of cases what you go, especially versus Nocturne. If you're desperate for the ignite, just put it on the Ezreal. Like, you don't really need heal in that lane.
Yeah. No.
And again, they don't have exhaust in the Invictus bot lane either. Exhaust is like the most broken summoner in the game. It's so ridiculously good if you know how to use it. And they've got cleanse heal for some reason.
Spectator mode. What do I need to do again for to zoom out? I remember.
Don't you just scroll? I mean, you just want to put on a directed camera, right, and let it do its thing.
No, I need to. You can scroll out further.
Control minus? You might have to switch off directed camera to be able to do that.
No, there's an actual setting. I can never remember which one it is. Control Alt Z. I knew that was something.
Minions have spawned.
Come on.
Wait, you just got a DM about it.
Yeah.
I just saw it pop up. I didn't see what it said.
Control Alt Z. Unfortunately, that's not quite working. Control.
I wouldn't worry.
Yeah, it's fine. It's unfortunate.
Oh, now it's set to just follow Captain Fast, I think.
I know.
Yeah. Okay, good. So, I mean, yeah, opposite ends of the jungle start, so fairly unlikely that they'll end up meeting each other, which is probably really good for Nocturne, really bad for Xin.
Yeah.
Although, I say that, but like, can Nocturne duel Xin early? I feel like it maybe can, even though he doesn't gank as well.
I mean, I think it very much depends if Nocturne is able to shield the knockup, I think, from...
Yeah, which, that is a thing you can do, right?
Yes, you can use your shield to block the third Q, I believe.
I mean, it's pretty telegraphed. Aggressive trades taken by the Victor in the mid lane, as he should. I mean, aggressive trades everywhere, really. Both down to half health top lane, which is potentially not the best thing for Luke Caruana, because he might not have the prior he needs for that scuffle if the Syndra decides to do anything about it. Elongate just going for constant trades, somewhat coming off a little bit down in them, but is able to push the wave in, so... I mean, the only advantage of that would be to push to do something about the scuffle, but it looks like the Xin might just be walking for a top lane gank really early on.
I mean, we are seeing a decent amount of poke damage being put on that Lulu as well, like you said.
Has a huge wave stacking up top lane now, and then equal in the bot lane. Pretty huge CS difference between Feb and Enix already. He will get that wave, but still, I mean, that lets the Seraphine roam into the river before you get the prior for that Drake. Drake, sorry? Crab. A mirror bottom top. Be Invictus's top, really kind of putting a lot of pressure on MDiv.
Yeah, a lot of damage as well being taken by Davos.
Face breaker in? Sorry, carry on.
Yeah, just Han's definitely poking Davos down a lot, but the healing from that corrupting potion will be a decent amount of help there, as well as getting the mana back, which is crucial.
Syndra game plan, you usually want to be using the corrupting pot to push him back really soon. Which it doesn't look like he's going to be able to do at all. Victor's actually pushing the Syndra on the tower, which he shouldn't be able to do, but it's Vince, so he can. But yeah, no, the Syndra looking very vulnerable. Victor is pretty low on mana, but I mean, it's a Nocturne 3/6. I think he knows that he can play pretty far off and not have to worry too much with his sums up.
Yeah. In terms of CS difference, we're already seeing a pretty significant CS lead, about 10 CS once these have gone through. in the bot lane for Feb.
Yeah.
For
That's
Ruin
where the lead.
Kings.
It's a spell piece Lulu as well, so I would wager that Seraphina's got to be quite a way ahead of the Lulu already as well.
Yeah. I mean,
Considering the amount of poke we've seen.
have a look, 101
So is it-
compared to 100
Yeah.
gold already.
I mean, all the gold leaders in the bot lane at the moment. The small amount that's been got. I mean, jungle's pretty much exactly even. They just cleared opposite to each other. Top lane's even despite the trades.
This is interesting though that we have not seen Xin Zhao being able to gank.
No. Oh,
Which-
Wukong's teleports down. He must have. I guess he teleported back to lane. But MDiv's also backed.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe there was like a trade that we didn't see that was like really aggressive. Or cheetah recall gone wrong. He went back too late and then had to TP in and catch a wave. But that's like pretty significant if the Xin Zhao wants to go for an early Drake. I just don't know if that will have been communicated. But yeah, no, the Senna has TP prior over him. And will when he's 6 as well.
We may see the junglers meet in the middle as well. We do. We're going to have a look.
Yep. Meeting the Xin Zhao seems to be fairly confidently winning this, but Syndra and Victor threatening to move. Dustbringer comes out, but no further trades.
Yeah.
Obviously, we haven't got Seraphine and Ezreal there. I don't think they know where the Cog and the Lulu are at the moment. Necessarily. They're back enough now, probably, for a recall before the drag. Oh, Xin Zhao walking in, but won't commit to it. I think he could have found them there.
But I don't think he had the follow from the Ezreal and Seraphine. Probably could have taken them 2v1, honestly.
Aggressive trades. Yeah, I know. I think he could have gone for that for sure. Yeah, really aggressive trades, really putting the hurt on Dabis. Dabis is already backed. Facebreaker comes in as the Haymaker, fairly even trades top lane. Wukong just able to dodge away from the true damage of that Haymaker with his clan.
I think actually Dave
So-
managed to dodge into that one, unfortunately. I think he
Yeah,
actually
no,
did
in
take
general
it.
he's been, but yeah, that one I think might have hit.
Yeah.
But yeah, this matchup, I'm not seeing the Wukong favor yet, but maybe that comes later.
I mean, yeah, it's... MDiv does have to play a lot safer than I think we would usually like to on on this champion, but
It's at early levels, it's like, you don't play too aggressively there in most matchups, you usually wait till you've got item or two. Or like a component, that is.
yeah.
Oh, Dragon will go down for Ruin Kings.
And when you've got
I mean,
Xin Zhao,
pretty much lack of pressure, yeah.
you've got Xin Zhao, he's able to take objectives very, very quickly. He has really good attack speed and very fast clearing. So he's just able to do solo dragons within just after his first clear, essentially.
I mean, if he's not going to force first blood, then, I mean, that's the next best thing, isn't it?
Yeah, an early Infernal Dragon as well. Oh, definitely.
I mean, it's no
very
Infernal Rift. I mean, we've got... So there's a chance it's Cloud Soul this game, so pushing for early Drakes may end up not pulling up. Bit of a contested the blue buff here, but it looks like Imari doesn't have Smite available, so we'll just have to walk away from that one. Nocturne, I should mention, is also very capable of taking early Drakes, he's just not very capable of fighting the Xin at the moment.
Yeah.
But Nocturne does take them very, very quickly.
It will. This game will start to heat up very soon once we start getting the junglers on 6, which they are now. And that's a heavy trade in favour of MDiv.
Yeah, I mean, it was mainly the minion wave that, it wasn't anything to do with how either of them played. He's just got a huge minion wave stacked up against him. Little bit worrying that the Nocturne hasn't been able, sorry, the Xin Zhao hasn't been able to make anything happen before the Nocturne hits 6. Despite the dragon take, I still think I would say Imari is like favoured at this point in the game in terms of jungle.
Yeah.
We're also seeing, I suppose, just not tank Kog'Maw this game.
It looks like it's not going to be tank Cogmo,
Yeah.
which...
I mean, Ix hasn't done tank Kog'Maw, he's picked Kog'Maw before and just not played it.
Yeah.
Oh, we're going down onto Deja Vu.
The thing
I
now-
feel like Captain Fast and Feb could be playing like a lot more aggressive in this lane, honestly. Especially since the Zin's right there. Oh, Nocturne's there as well,
Yeah.
though.
Now this
This
is
could be
what's
a
going to
fight.
be interesting, is anytime Jhin does commit to a gank, as long as Nocturne is within a lane distance, he will be able to follow up for a counter gank. So it is now a little bit more scary for Xin to gank. At this
We've
point,
seen
'cause he
Joe be
knows-
really good at counter ganks before as well.
Yeah. The Xin, I don't think, will be spotted there by any minions. I
Very
think
slow game to start with.
Very slow.
Yeah.
It's only 400 gold, only 300 gold right now in favour of Rune Kings. And again, Dave is just sitting in that true damage, unfortunately. I think he's trying to dive around the back
I
of
think
Set.
he tried to fake that one out.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure. It really just feels like Set is winning his trade. Oh, Nocturne now onto Luke Caruana, takes him by surprise. Xehanort will come down, but that will be the Nocturne ult, and Mari will pick up first blood with the paranoia there. Meanwhile, Galungulate goes for an all-in on my MDib, and both ults will come down. Cyclone and Bonk just able to take him out. That's 2 quick kills for being Invictus, and Gold Leaders. Well, actually, no, it hasn't. Has it swung?
Well, yeah, it was 300 gold in favour of Rune Kings now.
Oh, that looks okay. That's the sorry. No, the stream's like a little bit pixelated on my end, so I couldn't tell if that was a 16 or a 15. No, it's all good. It's all good. But yeah, no, that's really big. Xin Zhao 0-1-0 is definitely not what you want to see with Xin Zhao at 10 minutes.
Yeah. I mean, at the very least, there is a significant gold advantage right now in the bot lane. I mean, that's going to be 20 CS as Enix now has to back as well. Already
What did you feel like though? The top lane there, both of them just threw everything at each other, and the Wukong just had more damage in the end. Despite actually the Set arguably having a lot stronger items. He's got the axe, he's got the whip, and Wukong only has plated steel caps and Sheen.
But against the Set, plated steel caps does so much. There's all of his
very
damage
true.
Is
I don't know if he had both of those when they fought. I assume that he did. I don't know. I don't think he could have won. But yeah, no, they just kind of bashed each other until one of them died.
I don't think we mentioned it, but Rift Herald was also taken by Joe as well.
Wouldn't have seen it. I don't know, a support player. I don't know. The top side of the map doesn't exist in my eyes. The Bride Breaker already picked up for this Nocturne at 12 minutes. That is a really, really terrifying champion now, especially if you're the bot lane or mid lane of Rune Kings here.
And we are going to see Joe, I think, try and ult the bot lane or mid. I think will be his next target here, realistically. Possibly.
Yeah, he hasn't got much of this bot side jungle up, so it would be a little bit weird for him to go in to take Gromp here and then not just go for a gank.
Yeah.
He has got the paranoia available. Xin, meanwhile, where's the Xin? I can't see.
Xin is bot side as well.
Oh, he is. Oh, he is bot. He is bot. The icons are on top of each other. Yeah, this is looking like a full dragon fight. Both TPs available. Both top lane ults available. This could be a scuffle. Victor looks like he's going to be there first. Both mid laners are positioning to be ready to roam. Trade's being taken in the top lane. Haymaker down.
Just want to point out, even with the 2 kills, the first blood, Rune Kings.
Paranoia and Unleashed Power onto Vince will just blow him up. Luke Caruana comes in with the Crescent Strike to try and take out Joe in return, but it's not enough damage. That burst onto the immobile Victor, who just stepped up a little bit too much there. Oh, Force of Will able to stun up Luke Caruana here. Flash forward from Amara with the Dustbringer and the Fear, and that will be take him out for a killing spree with that Stride Breaker. And really seems to be adapting to this team pretty well, playing really well alongside Davis to pick up another 2 kills, summon the Rift Herald down in the mid lane and position for Dragon.
Yeah. This, I think, is just going to be free. We know that Nocturne does take it very quickly, and the bot lane of Rune Kings are not in a position to defend the Dragon.
No, they've actually managed to get themselves pushed in by this Kog'Maw Lulu here. I think if they were looking for a dragon fight there, as opposed to forcing mid, they could have used the Ezreal ult to push the wave and then go into fight. But you could see by the way that Vince was like walking there that he was going for the gank with the Xin Zhao, but it just happened that the Nocturne arrived there first. Which is what we were talking about before, the power that champion has to effectively, because that basically was a counter gank from the Nocturne.
Yeah.
Like, Vince only moved like that because of the Xin Zhao coming.
Yeah. And we do now see what you kind of feared, that the mid lane is going to be dictated by the junglers, and we did not see the Xin doing enough early game. Now the Nocturne is kind of running rampant onto this Ruined King side.
I think Xin alongside Victor is potentially a short-sighted duo, and Seraphine as well. So jungle at the moment usually wants to be playing around either the mid or the support, or either a roaming support or a strong mid. Oh, hang on, I'll pause that thought. Facebreaker in the top lane, Haymaker goes down, but the Caron just a bit too slow to catch up. Oh, will go in! Crescent Strike comes down, but Paranoia in for the counter gank, and he will just blow up Luke Caruana. Takes out 2 with the Strikebreaker.
Yeah,
this Nocturne is now 5-0. Another counter gank, very well executed.
And this is the problem, that as soon as Nocturne gets his level 6, you are not safe to gank unless you have a much bigger numbers advantage. Because that Nocturne with the Paranoia means all team communication goes out the window realistically.
Set used everything there, basically. Yeah. And I think the Xin potentially, until, I don't know, did just go in anyway. No, as I was saying, the Xin usually wants either a support to play around or a mid lane to play around. Victor is super late game and scaly, and Seraphine can be aggressive early, but doesn't have the best gank setup and really can't roam very well at all, certainly not pre 6. So you end up with just a Xin that's trying to make things happen on his own, and in 5s I just don't think that's enough. In a Chaos of solo queue, then yeah, maybe you can make it work, but I think the Xin here, especially with the Victor, like the Seraphine is fine, but the Victor is just not the champion that you can have alongside it. Yeah. That's my take anyway. Oh, aggressive trades in the bot lane. Oh, here comes Nocturne.
Yeah, Nocturne with the
as well. Oh no, and
a good ult there, but it's not really enough.
Flash out from Feb, that will just be unleash power to finish with the Seraphine there.
The Nocturne is a really good pick into that Seraphine as well. Seraphine cannot ult, cannot ult effectively because a single button press and Joe can just walk away freely and keep on attacking.
Ignite on Seraphine really coming in clutch here, isn't it?
Yeah.
Definitely not useless. Oh, more aggressive trades. Tower will have gone down. Meanwhile, Paranoia onto Vince in the mid lane. Forcer will come down, but not quite enough to reach him, but he still probably just goes down to the attack speed here. Xin is here, and he's able to use the Blast Cannon to safety. Meanwhile, Xin will go on the Syndra, take him out, and the Wukong will come down to finish off this Victor. Does bring him down onto Luke Caruana, and he'll take him out as well with the 3-point strike. Or 3 Talon Strike, whatever it's called. Cyclone comes in, but Luke Caruana is positioning to counter gank. No tower here for the top lane, but he's still pretty pushed up. Dash comes in, he might just, Dave will just have more damage than the both of them combined and Bonky Kong them to death.
Yeah, really good trade from Ruined Kings, but they stay too long, they try to force too much.
Yeah, goal going on to the Xin Zhao, he's finally connected. He had his Eclipse for that fight, that was obviously one of the spikes. I mean, the shutdown on Nocturne was a big thing, the kill on the Syndra was like less so, but now this Wukong already able to be pushing for top inner, looking really terrifying here.
Yeah, and Divine Sundra with boots as well, and he has a lot of gold, I'm sure, as well.
That's why he's such a strong top laner at the moment, is because he can abuse Divine Sundra as broken as it is.
Yeah, obviously Ezreal building Divine Sundra as well. We see
bot lane just hasn't got to play the game, really.
Yeah. It's just unfortunate, but you're against Cogmore Lulu, you can't really interact because it's pretty safe, and they have Enix and Deja Vu have been playing as far under turret as they can realistically.
Yeah, it's quite interesting actually that traditionally Cogmore Lulu you'd pick it and then you'd build an entire team composition around it, but me and Invictus have kind of used it in a very different way. They've said, okay, this is a really safe lane that encourages lack of interaction. So we'll just pick it and then prioritize the rest of the lanes. Cyclone in for Gulungulate onto this Victor here, and he will have more damage, but he will go down to the Haymaker and then the 3 Talon Spike from Zhao. Not before trading the Dragon off to his team. They're definitely not a worth trade for the Invictus. I think that shutdown onto the Xin could potentially start making him a proper threat, but second dragon. It will be Mountain Soul. No, it's not Mountain Soul. No, it's Crown Soul. So, yeah, no, definitely not worth for being Invictus.
Yeah, but at the same time, it does still put even more pressure onto the bot side of the map, where the Invictus are now looking to get him.
Paranoia follows the Arcane Shift Encore backwards to try and stomach Murray, but he's on the tower. He's just not taking damage. The Lulu is able to keep him alive with the Hugify. And yeah, really just no counterplay available from Ruin Kings there. The Lulu plus a Fed Nocturne, completely unbeatable.
And there's still not a huge amount of gold lead because of all the shutdowns being taken relatively recently, but there is 3.3k.
It's all on the Zen as well, which isn't really what you need it on.
At the very least, the Victor has got assists, which will help for his passive. I think that's how passive works now.
Yeah, I think so. It goes on takedowns.
And is farming fantastically as well. 186 farm in 21 minutes. So will definitely be stacking very well that passive.
They maybe have a good late game, but I mean they've got the Cocolulu to fall back on even after the Nocturne starts to fall off. And Storybreaker Nocturne, especially with a Lulu behind it, doesn't fall off nearly as hard as Assassin Nocturne used to.
Yeah.
He's got the Paranoia again. He's definitely looking for something, although he's sitting on a control ward.
Not for much longer.
Yeah, but yeah, won't be able to get much there. Looking like we'll kind of revert back to farming here, clearing vision. In terms of vision, if we're gonna look to that, generally fairly even vision across top, jungle, mid. It looks like the Invictus' bot lane has had better vision. I assume the Kog'Maw having such high vision score is mainly off the back of Lulu giving him wards to kill, and that's why Lulu's is slightly lower.
Possibly, and also the fact that I don't think the Lulu has actually been able to. Yeah, it is just simply Enix collecting all of that gold from.
Well, no, it's not. It's not collect because the Lulu gets the gold too. That's what you're supposed to do.
True.
Is you're supposed to let someone else last hit it. Oh, Encore comes in, try and catch up with the Nocturne here, but it's a Nocturne, so it does nothing.
Yes.
Little bit weird. I don't know if that was a panic or what. That was a little.
I think it had to be.
Oh yeah, she flashed.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, she must have flashed away. I thought that was an engage, but maybe it was trying to be a disengage.
Yeah.
Pretty sizable farm lead in the jungle now as well. It's Nocturne having so much pressure, able to pick up 30 more farm than Xin Zhao. But I mean, it's kind of bounced back. Like mid lane is really far ahead. Paranoia comes down onto the Seraphine, Straybreaker forward, Unspeakable Horror, and will just take him out. And position for second Herald now. Oh no, it's Baron. Didn't realize we were so far in.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Victor's hit a poke, but the Cinder should just be able to single-handedly zone him away. Teleport behind. Rankings are fighting this pretty big True Shot Barrage. Data Full already pretty low, taken out by the 3-point strike. Huge cyclone from Dave, but Ruin Kings are pretty comfortably winning this. February 14th, able to get onto this Kog'Maw, but won't go down. Shieldbase saves him. Dave able to take out 3. Dashes forward onto the 4th. Vince pretty unable to do anything. Sonic feels not doing much. Turns attention to the Kog'Maw.
Luke should just go out here.
Yeah, he'll just be able to walk away from that. And what looked like a very good fight at the start from Ruin Kings will just fall to the Invictus top laner. Although he might go a little deep for this. The Seraphine is here, he's very low.
Seraphine won't have ult though. So
no ult, so he will just get away and be able to clear out that wave, but
and it was very interesting, very risky call. I think that Baron.
I think it was a risky call, and they didn't peel off fast enough. The Lulu just got blown up before the fight even started, which is in part why the Nocturne was able to die. Because I think if the Lulu is untouched, the Nocturne can never die.
Yeah. My thought there as well is, yes, you've got a pick, but it was also the Seraphine. Like, there's not much the Seraphine can do if she's in the fight. Apart from that.
Paranoia comes down, but Lulu will just keep the Nocturne alive for this. Unspeakable Horror fears up the Seraphine, but Luke Carolina will take him out in return. Force a will to deny any follow-up engage from the jungler there.
Unfortunately,
They are still positioning for Dragon and will start it despite the jungler being dead and the enemy being around. I think this philosophy behind this is that Kog'Maw shreds it, but they really can't be looking for these. This is a bit of a throw, I
this
think.
is really risky. I mean, Luke Caruana has a 900 damage smite. There's no way that they can mess this one up. And Dave might.
Yeah, they will just position for the Dragon without the Nocturne there. I don't think they're gonna go for it. It's a pretty huge two-shot barrage. Dave goes in with the Cyclone, already pretty low. Luden not in range to help him, and he will just go down to the victory damage there. Kog'Maw putting down a lot of damage onto Emder, but not quite enough to take him out. And that seemed like a very, very poor choice of a fight to take for being Invictus there.
Yeah.
The lead it's not that high, the gold lead, as much as you got a very fed Wukong, very fed Nocturne. They are very farmed up in the bot side and mid of Ruined Kings, so you got to be careful here.
And now we are definitely seeing the Victor starting to pour out a lot more AoE damage.
Yeah, the Victor was really, really pivotal in killing the Wukong there for sure. They're positioning for Baron again here, and there isn't a massive amount of vision from the side of Ruined Kings in this Baron area either.
I wonder if they'll Death Brush. Doesn't look like it. I think just back to farming
I don't think so. I think that as long as they're farming and not forcing, I think the Invictus are doing well, I think. I think they're quite happy to do that. I mean, both teams scale fairly evenly, but the last team fights haven't gone quite as well for the Invictus, so maybe now is the time to sort of step back and chill a bit.
Considering just how fed the Wukong is, I would actually having the Wukong there, not right at the start of the fight, but as kind of the secondary engage. You've got the Nocturne engaging, and then the Wukong ults afterwards, essentially. Meaning just the paranoia comes down, no team communication for Ruined Kings, then followed up by a 5-man Wukong ult. That, I think, has to be the play for the Invictus to win these fights.
Yeah. I mean, maybe they do want to try and force the Baron now, because they know, like, if they're timing it, they know the set doesn't have TP yet, but that's not going to be a thing for a while. So you maybe just play around set TP being, like, Wukong TP is up before sets, and Cinder has hers, and Victor doesn't have one. So you maybe see the set bot lane here and try to force something. But it doesn't look like that'll be the case, but it is a line that they could have taken.
MDiv is 2 levels below Dave right now.
Yeah, Dave is just, it's been a bit of a top gap this game, honestly. And like we said at the start, maybe this is just why the matchup is so bad for Set, is he's just divine sundering him. Set will, however, go in here, the turret will go down, and we'll see if Dave looks for more.
What's interesting is
around this Baron.
whoever TP's first of those two has to be careful, as both of them can be caught out.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, Wind becomes lightning onto Amari here. We'll just jump in. Paranoia comes down. The Lulu's there to hugify them. Staying alive, Throwbreaker's forward. Zinja trying to kite it out, but now Set's here. Faithbreaker. Gulungulate able to get a pretty big Psycho. Nice encore from Captain Fast, but I don't know if it's going to be enough. Meanwhile, Fev on the backline onto Enix. We'll take him out. We'll be able to take out Joe as well. This Ezreal damage, pretty insane. Hand's now cut off a bit. Gulungulate dashing onto him, but doesn't have the last gap close. Slavic Field comes down, the train will be able to dodge out of it, and
Don't think Dave can get this, I'm not sure.
this is going to be close. Using the movement speed from the Q there on the Victor, and the Leandres will just take him out for an ace for Ruined Kings. I think Feb, although we didn't see him on the camera for much of that fight, was very much the unsung hero there. Really well played from him, able to kind of outplay the enemy ADC, as I said might happen at the start of the game. Stick him out. Set as well got a lot of damage on. Like the Nocturne died at the start of the fight, and Lulu is basically everything on trying to keep him alive.
Also, I'm just having a look at Kog'Maw, and it is looking like it's a weird hybrid tank build. It's shield flow, what's end, steel caps, and then Warden Smail.
It's a B Invictus special.
Yes.
It is what it is. It's mathematically correct, Kog'Maw.
Algebraically, well, yeah, all of those weird builds that are coming in now.
I don't know. It seems like a bizarre build to me, but
25
I
seconds.
mean we saw it there, especially into Divine Thunderer. Maybe if you got Lulu and you do have Divine Thunderer, then maybe you commit to full damage. Although the Lulu wasn't assisting the Kog'Maw really in that fight at all.
No.
Forgetting that is kind of her job, even though you got a fed top and fed jungle.
10 seconds.
Also, people A
5
ramming
seconds
here.
till Dragon.
I mean, they got Baron. They're able to push in pretty hard. It may look like they're trying to get this tower before the Dragon. Static Field goes on to ward them away, and Luke Caruana just walking to take that. They're taking a lot of space here in front of the Dragon, which is really, really smart, because now they've just got first move down to it, able to clear out all the vision on the way that they've been able to set up. It should just be a pretty clean Baron.
Yeah.
Baron? Dragon, sorry.
Very.
Not the first time I've done that skin.
And I quite like that the Invictus, they haven't just tried to posture around Dragon. They realised they weren't going to get it, so they looked to see what else they could get around the map. And
Looks like they're going to hard force top tower.
I mean, they can definitely get this turret and then back very quickly.
Oh, True Shot Barrage comes in, tries to take it the minion wave, but yeah, they're just going to get out, and they need to get out because the lower end kings are positioning. Very much willing to fight now. Gold lead is blurred, but it looks to be fairly equal.
Oh, sorry, it's 51.4 to 52.2.
Okay, yeah, that's at this stage in the game, that's pretty much exactly equal.
Yes. 1k between the full team is absolutely nothing really.
Yeah, and they've got one more dragon as well. All the more towns for the side of Big. It's a pretty even game, although I think Ruin Kings are starting to bring it back.
Yeah. I think Cloud Soul definitely favours Ruin King's side when you think of Xin Zhao and Set just running through with their ultimates.
Perhaps, but it's definitely not the most ideal soul to be getting here if you're playing for early dragons. Lots of poke coming down from this Victor. You see both the Kog'Maw and the Syndra burning from that Leandros there, and now the Wukong as well. Shusha Barrage nearly takes out Davis there. Lulu not really on the mark, not protecting him there, but luckily for him, doesn't have quite enough damage. But yeah, they should just be able to cleanly take this in-head tower. I don't really see an angle in which they can get an engage here. Onto Seraphine as well. There's no Shield Reaver, and I can't believe I'm saying this, but there are no Grievous wounds on the side of the Invictus. Somehow that's a thing that's been allowed to happen. I don't know if someone wants to DM them and remind them that that's a thing that exists, but might be too late.
I mean,
into Seraphine.
Well, and also Ezreal with Divine Thunderer.
Yeah, true. That heals as well.
And it heals
they actually
a
just
lot.
have none.
And actually, Eclipse. Xin Zhao heals a lot with Eclipse as well. Yeah, that's
and in
really
general, like you got
strange-
Conqueror on set. It's a mistake that you can't be making in a series or in a game, sorry, that's this close. Like that would be the tip, and I also think that if either of the supports had exhaust in this scenario, then that team would be hard winning.
Yeah.
I genuinely think it would have made that much of a difference. But Leandro, Syndra, like Syndra and Victor, pretty much at similar points. Yeah, the Victor's like a fair bit ahead in farm, but they're decently equal in terms of items, and you see just how much more this Victor's able to put on damage. He's just a better champion, honestly, at the moment. It just is. Which is hard to see because I do love Syndra, but yeah, Victor just is able to do so much more.
And right now, I think the items favour Victor more so than Syndra. The actual game state itself.
Very smartly pushing for this bot tower when they know that Baron isn't a thing, because then they're not going to be able to look for this later. Looks like actually, this might remind them to get it in fact, but Seraphine is positioning to get a Chemtech Putrefier. I think it's a really, really good build. Bit bizarre that Vince has already finished the Merlin Omicron. I think that's a mistake if you know your support's going that, but I guess he wanted it earlier for the Lily. I mean, I would have gone Putrefier second and not Self Flying Water. I think it's just a better second buy, but it's preference. But I mean, the Lulu should pivot into going Chemtech Putrefier here, for sure. But I don't think they will. It looks like they're just going to go for Ardent Sensor.
Yeah.
Yeah, Joe trying to poke with his Dustbringer, but he's really suddenly he's falling off on the nocturne. Oh, meanwhile, Cyclone goes in, Paranoia goes in. They will go for the full engage. Seraphine trying to keep them all alive with the surround sound, but will go down first of all. Presence Strike comes in, Wind becomes lightning, dash onto the Syndra, takes him out. Vince still somewhat untouched, using that Q to take him out there. Turret aggro.
And that's GG.
Very well juggled. Yep, and that will be the end of the game. Ace for Ruin Kings. Really well played.
I mean,
From the bot lane and mid lane of Ruin Kings, and yeah, they were able to bring it back against all odds.
yeah, what looked to be such a huge early game for the Invictus, and it's unfortunately for the Invictus anyway, not to be. And that, there we go. Thank you very much for chat who have helped me find out how to zoom out on Spectator. Thank you very much. So hopefully this should be easier for seeing the team fighting.
We'll have a pause just quickly. Oh, nope, never mind. We're
cool.
back into it.
So, will we see an invade? If we see an invade, it would be from the Invictus, but it doesn't look like we are. Oh, has my game crashed?
Looks a little bit frozen. Oh, no, we're back.
I mean,
I think directed camera just had a moment. Oh, wait, no, the Seraphine's not moving.
yeah. I'm not sure what's gone on here.
Oh, no, we're moving again. It's fine.
Okay, sorry. Maybe that was just a
And now
glitch
it's-
from the pause. Is it fine?
It's a little bit. It went slow motion for a second there, but I think we're back to normal.
Hopefully. That's kind of okay. Yeah. Right. Possibly that was just something to do with the pause. That may have just been...
Yeah, most
Up in the
likely.
Minions have
Oh.
Yeah, back into it.
Things you love to see.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
handshake of the top laners.
I mean, top laners know that they're playing top lane. They can just do that. It's an island. They don't have to worry about anything until about 15 minutes in the game.
Double corrupting put and Nautilus jungle. It really is on. The tables have turned from the Xin versus Nocturne matchup. Now it's really on Joe to be able to do something early. I mean,
Yeah.
we saw him get a pretty early lead on the Nocturne last game once he hit level 6, but I think even before then you want to be looking for stuff. Fizz starting Playful Trickster. To dodge out this early Victor poke, trying to get as much damage onto the Fizz before he hits spells and he's able to all in.
Yeah, and Fizz is some of the best level 2 and 3s in the game, particularly for an AD champion. So can be very scary, particularly for someone like a Victor who has not much in terms of mobility or escape, really, in any way.
No, I would expect this Fizz to try and be picking up kills early, but like Hans knows he's pressuring the Fizz away. We'll Playful Trickster straight onto him, but we'll take a fairly unfavourable trade. The Electrocute goes down, but yeah, just doesn't have the damage with that. I think Fizz needs level 3, honestly.
Yeah.
To actually be able to do anything. Facebreaker onto Wukong. We saw the set winning early trades in the early game last game. Looks like we'll just have a similar thing here. Meanwhile, is there a single
There
skill
looks to
shot
be
that's
an
not going
invade.
wide in the bot lane? Yeah, we've got positioning from Gulungalit here onto Luke Caruana, seeing this fairly vulnerable Ornn here. Not coming through,
flash.
instant flash from Luke Caruana, warding him away from this Gromp, that will be all he gets. Meanwhile, pushed in the mid lane, pretty, so we've got a CS difference kind of widening already.
I really
In
like
Vince's
that
favour
actually.
once again.
Taking away the Gromp early, considering the Gromp is what gives the healing in the jungle currently, is actually going to be quite annoying for the Ornn. Has to just back straight away.
There are predator bits for the Ornn. I think the more significant part of that trade is one, the flash is gone, and I think that's pretty. I think Ornn without flash basically can't gank pre-6. But it also will very much enable, as we see Joe walking straight for it, the double scuttle. Ornn will come up to try and contest this, forking the predator already, going in, Bellows Breath, putting damage, but will miss the knockup. Davis walking forward. Luke Caruana turning his attention to him, but doesn't quite have the damage. The Molten Rupture. Davis goes back in, hits Ignite onto Hands, but doesn't quite have the damage. Flash away, and Ornn will just pick it up. Really, I think there's a lack of experience on the champion showing for Davis there. kind of not knowing his damages, not knowing that actually you don't have the damage to kill Vince there. Facebreaker into Haymaker top lane, just kind of aggressive trades, looking very, very similar to last game up there. But yeah, no, that was a poor communication. I think Joe just wanted to disengage that and go for the bot scuttle, which was definitely the right play to do. Dabis just got a little bit overzealous, wanted that first blood, and well, he got first blood.
The trickster
What's
from David
yeah,
to get
that was a pretty nice maneuver.
Hmm.
I appreciate it.
Joe just sitting behind the minions there.
Yeah, aggressive trades from the Seraphine, blown plating kind of meaning they can't do anything in return, and Joe stops his back to do basically nothing.
To walk menacingly.
He was in fact menacing. MDib taking an aggressive trade in the middle of Gulangulate's minion wave, using the Haymaker really, really early there before it was fully stacked. Will kind of mean a trade that could have led to a kill, really just doesn't go anywhere. Gulangulate able to walk up really far in this lane, knowing Facebreaker's cooldown really gates him from doing much about it.
Interesting, we see it's a null magic mantle very early. So
Yeah, I mean Nautilus
going
is mostly magic damage. Yeah, that makes sense. I mean that's a substitute for the barrier there, and he's able to still out damage in trades.
Yeah. It might also mean that Fizz is, even with 6, unable to fully 100 to 0.
Yeah,
with,
I think so.
Dreads, going to be built.
I don't even know if it's going to be Mercurial Treads. In fact, I think it's likely not going to be, because I don't think that's very good into their team, because they're mostly knockout focused. I think this is like a more old mid lane trick, because mages aren't very prevalent at the moment, so you didn't see it much. Bellows Breath will catch up Gulangulate, he will have to flash the knock up there, but goes immediately back into the bonk, Facebreaker misses. Anyhow, the non-magic metal used to take it into champions like Cinder and Victor when they were really strong, just to prevent their level 6. You wouldn't build it into anything. It's probably going to be a Banshees later, I would bet. I don't think he'll go Merc Treads.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just a little tech, and it's a really nice thing. Legion Fool, I don't know, the Serath just looks so useless. It really just doesn't look like it's not able to outpoke the Seraphine Ezreal, despite being one of the most poke-oriented champions in the game.
I honestly wouldn't have minded something like a Leona. If you're going to go Nautilus jungle, just have even more CC.
Yeah, Leona or Rel here looks really nice, and we know there are 2 champions that Legion Fool are a lot more comfortable on than this one.
Yeah.
Just seems bizarre that they didn't just give the Nautilus to her. I think Nautilus is great in this lane.
Yeah. What's really interesting is a complete reverse in the top lane. What was a decent CS lead for Gulangulate is actually reversed now, 43 to 34. Instead, this game.
This is not a great back for Gulangulate as well. He may be forced to TP back for that, because that is going to shove back into his tower, which really gives advantage on first dragon to the side of Ruin Kings, although obviously both junglers this game are not playing champions that can nearly as easily do it.
I'd say Ornn can possibly do it easier than Nautilus, but I wouldn't want to.
I would argue Nautilus would probably do it easily, but I don't think either of them can solo them for like quite a while in the game. They're probably just going to want to try and force something bot into it.
Yeah.
No TP from the Wukong though, so like they do both have TP up, and obviously Hans has it over Dabis as well.
Yeah. We are seeing the level 6 is going to be hit by the junglers very soon as well, though.
This mid lane is looking really, really scary for being Invictus. I think the fact that the Fizz hasn't been able to do anything yet into a TP Victor is, and the fact that he's got a kill over him as well, it's worrying the usefulness that this champion might have into Seraphine later on.
And I mean that's already a verdant barrier, which is the
so that is a component for Banshee's Veil.
Yeah,
not really such a great item anymore, but it's definitely still a viable thing when you're into heavy magic damage, which of course they are. They've got Nautilus, Fizz, and Zerath. Obviously, when I was talking about the null magic mantle tech into mages, that was before Verdant Barrier was in the game.
Yeah.
Facebreaker, Haymaker used now, so if they're going for a dive with Joe positioning in this top lane, may now be the time. He will walk into the enemy jungle, but I don't know if he's actually looking for the set here. Diving a set is a little bit risky. Meanwhile, Ruin King's bot lane pushing up really hard, taking a little bit of poke there. Oh, they will go for the dive onto Mido. Cyclone able to take him out really fast, but Victor will TP in, use the Chaos Storm onto Amari. Static Field goes down, flash away, but he will just get taken down, and that is a 1-for-1.
Big
Amari for MDiv. Meanwhile, Ornal, yeah, hits the brittle on both, but will stun up Luke Caruana under tower. Won't quite go down. Seraphine Encore able to stall out, and the Zerathol not really finding its mark whatsoever onto the Ornn. So overall,
yeah,
not the best. They definitely could have got a couple kills there if they played that better. Being Invictus, I don't think the arrow and the stun from Xerath kind of hit at the same time as well, so the CC wasn't layered at all.
Also, I mean, if you look there, Hans has blue buff as well. Blue buff on Victor.
Yeah,
killing
him.
Yeah, that's really.
It's a big deal.
Forcing the heal there, I don't think Luke needed to use that heal realistically.
I think he used it for the speed up to try and catch the Ornn. Potentially, I don't know. They could have killed Ornn there. They could have killed Ornn there so easily.
Yeah. And this is looking really bad for being Invictus. They have a comp that does not scale anywhere near as well, and are currently losing every lane pretty hard.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, CCS difference, a little bit Fizz favored in mid, but obviously Vince has kills, so he's ahead. CS difference in favor of both top lane and bot lane, and massively in favor of jungle for the side of Ruin Kings. This Ornn really kind of proving its worth. Xerath going for poke, but the Ezreal hurts just as much in return.
The Ezreal has Sheen full build at this point.
Yeah.
Like, you don't really need much
more.
And you look at that damage.
Xerath decides to take the whole wave for reasons.
And is dead.
True shot barrage. Yep, saw that coming from a mile away. Apparently he didn't.
Yeah.
That'll be a kill for February 14th. That'll be 4th kill of the game. 3-1 now to Ruin Kings. Nearly 2k, in fact over 2k gold lead, I believe.
Yeah.
And they may be able to push for the dragon off that. I mean, you see the control.
Was taken. Sorry. Rift was taken.
Oh no, sorry, I got confused which jungler was which. No, it looks like Imari is trying to do dragon on his own as the Nautilus here. Got the Xerath here to support, but the Seraphine is very much aware that they're doing it. Meanwhile, trying to force something top lane. Ornn comes in, Volcanic Rupture and Bellows Breath comes down. Won't be able to find anything, but we'll see if they use this Rift Herald to try and...
Luke is not in a right place here. He's going to get caught.
Oh, Arash Arrow comes in, but it will be buffered by the Ezreal there. Doesn't really end up accomplishing anything other than zoning him away. It was definitely an unnecessary use. Or unnecessary need to use. He shouldn't have been in a position where he needed to use it there. Now coming into lane, a little bit weird positions. There are some will land, but it doesn't look like they know really what to do with it. Meanwhile, Static Field onto Amari here. He's very tanky, but the Victor has so much damage. Chaos Storm will just melt him with the Ornn CC. Meanwhile, Exhaust onto this Xerath here. Yakin shift forward from the Ezreal. We'll just take him out. And fights in the top lane as well. Everything is falling apart from the Invictus.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know why Deja Vu was just in the wrong position there and tried to force himself back into lane.
He looks very uncomfortable on this champion. I don't understand the philosophy behind the Xerath. Rift Herald hopping down the mid lane turret. They should hopefully get that. Facebreaker, decent trades for Dave in the top lane, but he just doesn't have the lead that he had last game.
Yeah. And Davis is going to try something on hands and might be able to.
Oh, here's Luke Caruana. The Barrett Bust doesn't get the brittle, but the knockup will find him and he will die to the burn. Xerath ult comes down simply to try and disrupt the enemy backs. I don't think you're ever finding a kill with that one, but yeah, the Ornn jungle really proving its worth here. Looking pretty spicy. It's just, yeah, I think this game is fairly ever. You could maybe play for Soul Wind condition potentially because you got the first dragon, but I don't know. This is looking a little bit doomed.
I mean,
without the Wukong lead they had last time.
Considering how late that first dragon was taken, it will be what at least till 28.
Yeah.
Or so, like approximately.
I mean, if you think last game, Invictus had a huge lead, against a team that was even less early game than this one, even less late game than this one.
Yeah.
This time they have less of a lead against a more lagging comp. Chum the Waters will come down on events, not really doing much damage though. Clayful Trickster and kind of the whole combo Verdant Barrier keeping him alive. Chaos Storm comes down, trade of ultimates. Amari is here, hand stepping up, will have to flash away. Flash forward from Amari, gets the hook. Clayful Trickster forward, Northless ult to finish that one off. Really pretty big shutdown for the Fizz here, definitely an overstep from Vince. But yeah, looking kind of depressingly low damage from the Fizz until the Northless is able to show up and finish up the kill. Luke Caruana positioning for a gank in the top lane, but we do see Amari there. No ult available for him, mind you. And he might be caught out here actually. Bellows Breath comes down, forced away by the Volcanic Rupture.
I mean, I know
The
pink
Fizz-
ones are useful to clear,
Oh,
but
Encore forces flash from Enix. Ult comes down, potentially a panic ult, but I don't think the Xerath had anything to follow up on that. Now Xerath taking a lot of damage into the Divine Thunder, a 3-shot barrage dashed out of.
Luke is
Ash just
no
doing
damage.
so much less damage. I mean, the volley is nice, and here's Dabis, but there's a TP coming in from the Victor here just to ward him away. It's just this Seraphine Ezreal is just so much stronger than the Ash Xerath. I mean, the Arcane Barrage comes down, but
doesn't land.
I mean, the Seraphine's gonna have W by this point, even if it was gonna land. And once again, I mean, that's 20 CS in the pocket of. I mean, we actually see quite interestingly. I didn't notice this as Lifeline goes down for an aggressive trade in the top lane. On the Seraphine, he's actually got Relic Shield, so he respected the poke of that lane and played to kind of play around it.
Which Lulu needed, damage needed done on Lulu last game.
Yeah. So okay, we're looking for a pick with the Call of the Forge God, the Chaos Storm onto Murray, getting for his third death of the game. Aggressive E forward from Feb here, doesn't quite land the Mystic shot there to potentially have the damage to take out Enix, but will force it back and potentially a tower here.
Yeah,
Hands looking just completely unafraid of this Fizz now.
the knock-up from the Call of the Forge God interrupted the Q dash as well from Nautilus, the anchor hit, which confirmed the kill. Just a really nice timing of that particularly. And what is Ornn going to build here? I think it was just the Crystalline Bracer, I think. But just enough, topping himself up a little bit. And that is the first turret.
He's got a Predator available here if they want to make something out. It looks like they're all synchronizing recalls, so there'll be appetite for the Drake. They don't want to give a second one. So I think that literally is the only possible win condition for Invictus at this point. I don't... Like, obviously the Fizz got the shutdown, and that's nice and all, but you hit critical mass with Seraphine, and Victor Ezreal are like hard to kill carries in the first place. Like, they're not super easy to kill. With a Seraphine behind it, it just becomes impossible.
I mean, we saw how often last
and they have
game,
exhaust as well.
even with a really fed Wukong, how difficult it was for him to actually get on the Victor.
I'm positioning for a little bit of a
Oh,
interesting one up top lane. Call of the Forge
Enix.
God catches out Enix. Volcanic Rupture comes down. Encore sent through the Ornn. True Shot Barrage to finish him off with the burn. Flash forward, Brittle Strike, and double kill for Luke Caruana on this Ornn.
the TP
Really well
from
played.
MD.
Nice. That was literally the three ults I talked about at the start of the game.
Yeah.
The Encore, the True Shot Barrage, and the Call of the Forge God used really nicely in conjunction with one another.
And it's going to be Ocean Soul if we get to that point. And very early, Zonya's
Watched
there.
out. Chaos Storm goes down onto the Zonyas. Chum the Waters stopwatched out. Claysoul Trickster goes down, but oh, the slow from the Chum the Waters might keep him alive. No, the laser or Death Ray, sorry, will just be enough to pick up the solo kill for Hans there. Arcane Barrage comes down, but that did practically no damage with Onshot. You could probably face tank that and be fine. Ash is here now, but no ult available. Not really very useful. Caruana trying to get this Herald here. And it will be picked up for Amari there, I believe, but now comes the fight to try and stop them from getting it. Really nice Facebreaker to get a double stun. Haymaker will take out Amari here. Cyclone comes in, but not really doing enough damage. Might actually back it will eventually fall. Caruana just way too tanky. This Victor able to take out the Wukong. Ornn eventually goes down. Hans now maybe in a little bit of trouble here. Ash chasing in, but the Death Ray comes in. Huge damage still from Vince. Dodging away from all of these Xerath
Luke,
abilities.
what are you doing? Oh,
Death Ray comes into the Ash trying to get a sneaky fruit here, and now it's a game of juking. Jukes the Zerathi already, and he will go down to the burn. Meanwhile, February 14th pushing straight into the base of the game, completely unafraid of this 1-3 Fizz.
Yeah.
You maybe need to respect that champion a little bit, but yeah, no, that was a really, really masterful play from Vince there.
Yeah. I mean, they're realistically, this is. I don't want to say it this early. It's not even 20 minutes into the game.
We were saying it before the game started.
Like, there really isn't a way for the Invictus to win at this point. You got a Fizz who cannot assassinate a single target at this point, unfortunately. Like, and I don't think we'll be able to for the rest of the game. A Wukong who last game was really fed at this point, and basically turning the tide of fights on his own. 0-1 this game. A Naught jungle
as well.
I just don't. I don't see the Naught jungle.
In comparison to the Nocturne, I mean the Zerath is useless and will be useless for the rest of the game.
Yeah.
0-4 on a champion that needs items. Fizz has been forced to rush Zhonya's into an AP matchup because of how scary the Victor Chaos Storm is, which is just awful. Warmog's Rush on Nautilus I don't like. I keep seeing people talk about Warmog's Rush, and I don't know. The fact that this Zerath doesn't have a mythic item for the first Baron fight, it's just really depressing. Elongulator's positioning, I mean, you got the volley coming in, flinging some poke, but the Seraphine did do quite a bit of it. Enchanted Crystal comes down, Cyclone comes in, he's instantly exhausted, True Shot Barrage goes wide, and he will get out. Not enough disruption though. Imari will go in, but won't be able to secure the Baron. Showstopper comes out, immediately ults him out of the pit, and now it's just MDiv fighting Imari. Meanwhile, over here, Encore into 3. Goes straight through the team. Davis Playful Trickster not doing nearly enough damage to be able to take anyone out. Volcanic Rupture slowing him down. Meanwhile, it looks like MD was able to win the fight against Samari, and that will be nearly the ace. I mean, the Ash just isn't really a champion, is she? I mean, that did like 5% of Hans' health. She can't walk anywhere near them here. I think they can probably just take double in here. They can maybe force bot turret here by tanking it. I mean, they may even look to end, honestly.
I don't think they are. Everyone is coming up apart from Davis. But
we did see the Victor get the back off here. I would potentially like to see something forced from the Invictus here. I mean, the Wukong's definitely looking for it. The Ornn does. Yeah, not on him. Ornn does a lot of damage. I mean, the Ash is completely out of mana. No Enchanted Crystal are available. Dragon's coming up very soon. They should be giving this blue to the Seraphine. Oh well.
I mean, at this point it doesn't really matter, and we're gonna see.
No. I mean, next team fight probably ends the game.
Yeah. I mean, look at how tanky this Ornn is now. Warmog's Frostfire, Lucidity Boots with Negatron as well, compared to just a Warmog's Armor and a Barman Cinder. Feb is gonna try to do any damage to the tanky Nautilus, and is with that Divine Thunder.
Yeah, Divine Thunder are looking pretty strong here.
And I mean, this is really just a waiting game at this point. Dave's gonna try his best, but the damage.
Yeah, they're just slowly bleeding out. Chaos Storm will eventually be enough. Oh no, the Zonias will keep him alive, and Feb will take him out. MDiv potentially getting caught out here, but the Haymaker putting up a disgusting shield. Encore into Showstopper, not letting this Fizz move. Lucaroana just tanking up. Yeah, just kind of killing himself on the Ornn to the burn. Teleport from MDiv into... Yeah. And that will be it. The Victor Q in Arcane Barrage to try and desperation take out the Victor, but won't even be able to kill the Ornn in the end. And that will be 2-0 victory for Ruin Kings. And unfortunately,
surprisingly easy, I think.
Yeah, after the first game where it really looked like they were on the back foot and the Invictus had a chance at not upset again, they were really put into the second gear.